Hello everyone, my name is Alan. Welcome back to 9 by 9 This is the Relish in the Moment podcast. This week, it's pretty special. I don't know. Today, this morning, Spider-Man, the new teaser trailer dropped. And Raw happened last night, which I really want to talk about. So let's get into Spider-Man. Um, Pretty exciting stuff. So for those of you who don't exactly know, Spider-Man Far From Home, the teaser trailer for it dropped, Tuesday, the 15th. So I upload these on Wednesday, so that will be tomorrow, which would mean it's yesterday. If you for some reason watched this or listened to this when I released it. Pretty exciting stuff. Pretty exciting stuff. So I'm really excited for a lot of things, and uh you know, I like to watch videos pretty often, so one of my favorite YouTubers, Andre the Black Nerd, he posted a video today, con- expressing his concerns, and I kind of agree with him, and I also agree with what he was excited for. Uh, First off, we get another Spider-Man story, which isn't exactly like a lot of the other stories that we've gotten. We've gotten a lot of, uh, Green Goblin and this time around we get Mysterio, which he's pretty interesting. He's not your average villain. Like, he doesn't really, um, everyone else kind of has this, take over the world kind of mentality, or like, just kind of, buy equipment and like conquer. And Mysterio doesn't really have that exactly, at least not to my knowledge. Uh, from what I've seen, from what I've kind of, watched online and read online, Mysterio's more of this, like, this little fanboy that just wants to be a superhero, but after continuously doing it wrong, he kind of just, like, decides to he just says fuck it, and he just decides to be a villain. Um the trailer kind of shows it really well. I don't know. This might be spoilers. Spoiler warning. I don't think you guys really need it, but whatever. Spoiler warning. Uh there's so in the trailer it shows this sand monster, this like weird lava fire monster, a water monster, which I'm pretty sure is Hydro Man. If that's the case, then there's a possibility that the sand one is Sandman, but I'm not exactly sure. So it shows these, they're called the Elementals, and I'm pretty sure in the comics they're they're these like really old, they're pretty much like the Titans from like Greek mythology. They like they're built out of like the basic elements like ground, fire, water, and uh I think this all takes place in Europe. The title Far From Home, I guess Europe's far enough from home, far enough from New York, for I don't know. I'm not going to judge the title, but uh it all happens in Europe, uh which, I mean, it feels like a strange setting, I guess. Where was I going with this? I had a good point for why it's weird that it's in Europe, or I don't know. It's in Italy, I believe. It's in, at least part of it is in Venice. Uh which I guess that's going to be where Mysterio is from, I guess. It's played by Jake Gyllenhaal, which I'm pretty sure is Italian. So I'm pretty sure he's Italian. I think so. uh, so I guess that makes sense. But like these elementals are I guess if we're going off of the comics are these like ancient creatures, but I'm pretty sure that one of them is Hydro Man, and then I guess the Sand Guy Sandman. But Jesus, I really can't stay on topic. I can't keep the train of thought, like, keeps getting derailed. Uh, yeah. So, spoilers. Yeah, spoilers. I feel like I should just scrap what I've already said and redo this, but spoilers, because there is a chance that I have read some, like, leaked information. So, the plot, could possibly be what I'm about to say. Yeah. So, if you don't want spoilers, then there's your warning. So it takes place in Italy. It takes place in Europe. I think it actually, there's a chance that it actually jumps from like different parts of Europe. But Mysterio is actually not like this mystical, magical kind of guy. He's actually just an illusionist. And all these monsters are usually just illusions, but I'm pretty sure, again, I keep saying this, I'm pretty sure the water monster is Hydro Man. So, from what I've read, Mysterio actually hired, like, Hydro Man and all of these guys to kind of terrorize the cities. And so he's kind of, as I said, he's kind of acting like a superhero. He wants to be a superhero. And so he recruits all of these guys to terrorize the city so he can play superhero. And then, as you see it in the trailer, Nick Fury kind of recruits Spider-Man, which it's weird because, like, I don't know why, but these people keep recruiting this, like, teenage kid. Like, why are you asking, like, this 15-year-old to just save the world, like, all the time? Like, Iron Man brought him in for Civil War, more or less brought him into Infinity War, and then Nick Fury's over here asking him to save Europe. But it's kind of cool, I guess. He gives him a bunch of suits, and pretty much the bulk of, I guess, the first half up until like the climax kind of time. He's going to be like, it's going to be like a buddy cop movie, but it's going to be Spider-Man and Mysterio teaming up, I guess against these monsters. And then I'm guessing that they're going to find out that Mysterio's the one behind all of this. And then, I don't know, probably Spider-Man versus Mysterio for the final battle, I guess. All of these movies needs a final battle. And it's probably going to be very CGI filled. So far we've seen a lot of CGI Spider-Man. Actually, I feel like we have seen a lot of practical Spider-Man too, though. I don't know. But that is my messy way of explaining the plot of the movie, just in case you were interested. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, but, well, no, but, I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a really good movie. You know, coming from Homecoming, I was really thinking that was going to be, like, the one that will finally top off as like the best Spider-Man movie. And then I kind of came to a realization that Homecoming, throughout its like great parts, it's not exactly the best. It really has a lot of like weird faults in it, like plot wise, and there's always that pesky little 8 years later title screen, which I don't know why they decided to keep that in the movie. But then I started to think, I mean, they're probably just setting up for the sequel to be better, you know? And, you know, looking at the trailer, I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the case, honestly. As hyped as I am, I think there is a really good chance that the movie's going to be the home run ball out of the park kind of movie. There is that chance, but there's also a good chance that it's just going to be alright. And I am perfectly okay with that. I think there are a lot of people who, upon hearing me say those words, would be like, why, like, what, don't be... I'm kind of making fun of my friend here if you didn't, I don't know. But my friend would definitely, upon hearing me say those words, be saying like, don't be disrespecting Spider-Man like that. But I'm going to, because realistically, the plot of this movie, to me, at least in words, seems to just be an okay movie. And unless they really hit it off with like some super solid themes and like, you know, unless they make a really solid movie out of this plot, I think it's just going to be another alright movie, and, you know, that's alright. I don't really think I have a lot more to talk about this, so I think I'm going to try... Let me think for a second. So we start... Nick Fury, Spider-Man, asking 15-year-old kid to save the world again. Sandman, Hydro Man, Mysterio. Is there anything else that happened in this trailer? There was that part with when Zendaya, she had this like little pseudo SJW kind of remark, which I thought was kind of funny. I kind of like how, like, what direction they're going with her character. It's definitely not your traditional MJ, which they are calling her MJ. Not Mary Jane, but they are nicknaming her MJ. It's not your average MJ, which I really like. I think that's new and refreshing. They had Mysterio. One of the people in the trailer said he's like a mix between Thor and Iron Man, which I definitely saw with the giant cape and like the like hand blasts. You know, anyone with hand blasts just looks like Iron Man pretty much and flies. And they did a really good job with like the CG hand blasts too. It's like this cool mysterious like fog thing. Like, I don't know, that's cool. It's like mystical, and they did a really good job with it. But I guess just my background knowledge with it, I feel like I might have spoiled it for myself, but also it's likely that it's just going to be another alright movie, and I am perfectly fine with that. Tony Revolori said dickwad at the end, which was new and refreshing. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's move on to some Raw discussions. WWE Raw. If you are a fan of wrestling, feel free to engage in this discussion in the comments or whatever. I don't know, tweet me on my Twitter, or whatever, you know? Or if you're not a wrestling fan and you want to bounce out right now, feel free to do so. And if you're not a wrestling fan and you want to just listen in on my thoughts on it, this is, you know, as jumbled as my mind is, I think I do a pretty good job explaining the basics of why a wrestling fan like me gets excited about shows like last night. So, you know, let's talk about this. We opened up with Braun Strowman being all mad, getting ready for this fight with Brock Lesnar. I actually haven't seen last week's Raw, so I don't know if there was any context that I may have missed. But we saw Braun Strowman all mad and stuff, and then Baron Corbin came out, and then got all mad at him, chased him out, and then he like hid. I actually kind of stepped away from this part. I wasn't really paying attention, but he kind of hid near this limo, which Braun proceeded to destroy and rip a door off of, and it just so happened to be Vince McMahon's, the big boss, the head honcho. He came in, and I'm pretty sure he yelled at him. Again, I wasn't really paying attention all too much, but he took Braun Strowman out of the match. And then Vince McMahon came out and said, well, something. And then John Cena was like, hey, Vince, everyone has left before, and I was the one guy that stayed here. And then, he was like, and why am I going to be Brock Lesnar? Because I am a big muscular guy and I can get angry. And then Drew McIntyre was like, hey, I'm a big muscular guy and I can get angry too. And I'm Scottish. And then who's the other one? Baron Corbin came out and he was like, hey, I can fight too, I guess. And then obviously, the guy that they're pushing, Finn Balor, the rightful heir to the championship, came out and was like, yeah, well, I can beat all of you, and I can beat Brock Lesnar, and I'm the only one that's actually been Universal Champion here. So then they were like, oh, fatal 4-way for the championship opportunity, I guess. And then Jinder Mahal was over here like, hey, Vince, I mean Mr. McMahon, give me an opportunity. And then he was like, I challenge Finn Balor, and and then Vince was like, beat him and you get the chance. And I don't know why, but seeing things like that, seeing those little bits and pieces in a show like Raw, it gets me excited because, you know, sometimes the stories on these shows just don't flow anymore. Like a lot of the show, like the Raw and SmackDown shows in the past year or so, it's just been too is serialized the word? No, I think serialized is actually what they're doing now. Episodic, I guess, like like there would be like segments and then it would just not flow into the next segment. And I kind of got tired of that because it would become a lot to think about and a lot to piece together. And I like this show because it just flowed nicely. And then the match happened. Finn obviously won the match against Jinder. Let's see. And then what happened after that? It was either the women's, no, it was the IC title, which I definitely, I kind of enjoyed. There was a bit of meddling with Leon something, the little boy, the little cruiserweight boy. But I watched it loosely again. I wasn't really paying attention, but I kind of enjoyed it. There was a couple high spots that were really enjoyable. There were kind of low spots where I had the opportunity to look away. And if you didn't notice, I'm kind of sick. There are kind of low spots, which, it's good to have those low spots. I think a lot of the time, wrestlers now kind of look for just these constant high spots, and it gets tiring. No one's able to take a breath and just be amazed at what just happened, so then they just keep on going, and it kind of ruins it. But there are a couple low spots. It was kind of fun. There was a lot of teaming up in this. It was a triple threat, so people could team up 2v1, but then ultimately Bobby Lashley won, and it's both surprising that they would give it to him, especially like kind of this early. Like they wouldn't wait until like Royal Rumble or anything, like any major event. But it also kind of makes sense from a story point of view. Like you need to think about how Dean Ambrose is the former champion, how Dean Ambrose's status in this kind of reflects on everyone else. And what I mean by that is when someone is holding the championship, you need to consider how that person holding the championship is influencing the dynamic of any other challenger. So you had Dean Ambrose, who was just kind of holding it. It's been a while, and Seth was trying to challenge for it, and a lot of meddling happened, and so he just kind of ended up holding it, and it kind of gotten stale, and so there was a need for a change of pace. There was a need for a change of the title holder, champion person, and so it felt weird, but it felt right that they gave it to Bobby Lashley. And then there was the women's tag team championship, what's it called? Reveal. And they look amazing. They look great. And I was told that they were going to try to change the men's titles to look like the women's titles, which now that I think about it, is a terrible idea, because it completely takes away the point of having a women's title, because it's just like it. If you were to make the men's championships look like the women's, it just it's the same effect as when they made the women's championships. They'll look the same as the men's. It's like nothing's original anymore. Everything looks the same. No one's special. And I think that having a women's tag team division kind of intermingled with the singles division, it makes sense, and I wholly welcome it. They look amazing. Keep them as they are, and don't change the men's, because that's just gonna make things boring. There was a bit which I didn't see. I watched it on Hulu, which they cut out a lot of the extra stuff, like the extra behind the scenes bits and promos. So there was a bit that's on YouTube where they show Alexa Bliss more or less topless. And then, of course, I only saw the part on Hulu that she was revealing the women's tag team titles. And she looked amazing. She looked great. I honestly I don't know where I'm going with this other than I really want to compliment Alexa Bliss. She looks amazing. She's very pretty. And then I don't think there was any other matches after that. If there were, then I am completely forgetting. So after that, at least from what I can remember, the main event was the Fatal 4-Way, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Finn Balor. And again, I kind of didn't watch the entire thing with my eyes glued to the screen, but from what I did watch, it was really good. It was pretty good, it kept my attention at least at the end, It flowed pretty well as far as what a fatal 4-way match generally goes. And then ultimately Finn Balor finished with being the number one contender for the Universal Championship. And I think that this could possibly be the actual start of the new era if Finn Balor ends up winning. Which I really hope is where they're going with this. If it's not, then I don't know. Honestly, then I'll just probably stop watching Raw again, because honestly, I really haven't been watching Raw, and WWE is really the only reason why I have a Hulu membership right now. So if they really just go back to that, I'll probably cancel my Hulu subscription and probably do like Netflix or something, But hopefully, this really is the new era of WWE. That's what they were trying to say. So hopefully it really is the new era. If it's not, I'm bouncing. But hopefully it really is. We'll probably start seeing Finn Balor actually holding it, because last time he got injured right away. Actually, he got injured and then won it, which was kind of great. Like, just to watch. Hopefully he gets to hold it. Hopefully he gets to wave it around and actually do something with it. Defend it a couple times. Then we'll see some actual interesting TV from that. SmackDown is tonight, so I won't be able to talk about that. Generally, I enjoy SmackDown more. They have been doing a lot of pretty interesting stuff, with like Becky Lynch, and I think the tag team titles, what's going on over there is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this week. Other than that, sometimes I do think of topics to talk about on the podcast, but then I think about how much better it would be if those topics were talked about with my friends, and for whatever reason, they're still not here available. I guess it's just like the weird timing that I decide to record these. I prefer to do these on like Tuesday, so I get like a full week's worth of like ideas. If I decided to do this on Saturday, I wouldn't be able to get today's Spider-Man and Raw content in, but yeah, I guess I should read our sponsor for this week. Twitter at AlanRayH. Go follow me, and Instagram at AlanRayH. Go ahead and follow me because I kind of want to increase my follower base on as many social platforms as I can. Also, go and check out twitch.tv/Stalewitch. That is my gaming channel that I stream on, and also YouTube, Stalewitch. That is my channel on YouTube that I have games on. Soon I should have a vlog up, kind of just a mini vlog. I recorded a little night out with my friends. We just kind of went to go out and eat, and I recorded a little bit, and I'm going to probably try to cut it up and serve it to you on YouTube. It's also Alan Ray H. Hopefully I should have these links in the description. But if I don't yet, I will. And I think I actually said this last week. So if I already forgot, then hopefully I'll remember this time around. Still working on the intro and outro music, and also working on some designs for like what to show while I'm just talking. On screen I have this like pretty much blank screen, and I kind of want to make like some kind of like moving video to actually show, so it's not so boring. So if you actually decide to watch it, then you can. But anything else? I don't think so. I think that is it for this week. Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate any and all support. So if you subscribed, if you liked this, thank you. That is it for this week. I will see you all next week with another Relish in the Moment podcast. Goodbye.